Good afternoon, Endeavour, on this a bit cold today, Saturday afternoon. I just thought I'd give you a tea time treat on next chapter of Boom. Are you sitting comfortably? Let's go for it. Van Tresillian strode down the corridor, with us jogging behind him. He was carrying the button box and we were wearing the wristbands, so there's no point running away. Hey, said Charlie, look on the bright side. At least we're going home. Except we'll only be there 5 minutes, and then he's going to blow us up. No, said Charlie. I'll be dead first, and you'll get another 5 minutes. Brilliant. That makes me feel a lot better. You never know, said Charlie. Brigadier General Dudar might actually believe us. No one ever believes us, I said, about anything. In here, said Van Tresillian. Sneck it. A door opened in the wall and we found ourselves in a large white hangar where we'd first arrived. The white ceiling 20 metres over our heads. The high windows with starscape outside. Just as before, Pierce, Kidd and Hepplewhite were sitting at a long table in their violet robes. Tidnall, said Van Tresillian. Basky dark. Crispin Hootamont, said Mrs. Pierce, standing up. She walked over to us. Well, 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 you turn out to be useful after all. Now there is a surprise. Always willing to help, said Charlie. Get into the Wefbean unit, said Van Tresillian. And remember, 5 minutes, Charles is dead. 10 minutes, James is dead. Then I get bored very, very quickly. He shoved us towards the tubular cubbyhole. Inside, both of you. It's going to be a bit of a squash, said Charlie. Getting squashed is the least of your problems, said Van Tresillian. I stepped inside. Charlie stepped in beside me. Van Tresillian pushed. Then he pushed a bit harder. Then he said, Sneck it, and the curved door slid shut behind us. Fasten seatbelts, said Charlie. His face pressed against my ear. Cabin doors to automatic. So what's the plan? I asked. Absolutely no idea, said Charlie. If we're really lucky, a paratrooper might kill us with a bazooka as soon as we come out the ground. Then we heard it. A boom! And it was like my head being hit with a cricket bat. I covered my ears with my hands, and every atom in my body started vibrating. My clothes were soaked in sweat. I felt horribly seasick. Charlie must have felt seasick too, because he actually was sick down my back, and it smelled really bad. The atoms in my body stopped vibrating, and the nausea started to fade. Charlie said, I'm sorry about that, and the word Zavoid flashed across the little screen beside my head. There was a short ding-dong like a doorbell. The roof of the tube slid back, and we began to rise upwards. Sunlight. I could feel actual sunlight. We rose a little further, and I could see the tops of mountains and grass, real grass. And then I saw a crazed figure standing above us with hair matted and mad staring eyes and a huge knobbly stick in its hands. It yelled like Tarzan of the apes and swung the stick and whacked Charlie. He screamed and rolled sideways in the grass holding his shoulder. And the crazed figure with matted hair and mad staring eyes and the huge knobbly stick said, Jimbo! And I realised it was Becky. Don't hit me! I shouted. Be back! Shouted Becky, and she grabbed me and hugged me just like she'd done when I first found Charlie in the dining hall, and I grabbed her and hugged her back. I don't think I'd ever been more pleased to see her. Baby brother, she said. You waited for us, I said. Of course I waited, said Becky. What was I going to do? Go home and tell Mum and Dad that I'd killed you? But where in God's name have you been? And why is your back covered in sick? Then I remembered. I'll explain everything later. We've got to stop the planet being blown up. What? Said Becky. I looked around. Why aren't the army and the police here? What are you talking about? Said Becky. Calm down and tell me what's happened. Van Tresillian's voice appeared in my head. How are we doing, James? 3 minutes to go. I'm tapping my fingers. Are you speaking to the person in charge? I touched my wristband. Yeah, I'm speaking with the person in charge right now. We're going to sort something out very soon. I took my fingers off the wristband. Who are you talking to? Asked Becky. Charlie got to his feet. That really hurt. Sorry, said Becky. I thought you were one of them. Becky, it's you, said Charlie. I didn't recognise you with your cave woman act disguise. I turned to Becky. What do you mean, one of them? The blue light goes on, said Becky. There's a boom, and I wandered over and whacked them over the head. Then I tied them up at that big rock over there. Where are they all coming from? Ah, said Charlie, you're the reason they've lost contact. Brilliant, super intelligent alien civilization foiled by a girl with a stick. Charlie, I said, shut up, we haven't got time. Oh yes, said Charlie, I forgot, I'm still feeling a bit shaken, on account of being assaulted. There's no police, I said. There's no army. What the hell are we going to do? Van Tresillian's voice was in my head again. 2 minutes to go. I'm getting twitchy here, James. Charlie was walking round in little circles, squeezing his head. Okay, think. You haven't answered my question, said Becky. Which question, I said. Where in God's name have you been? I've been stuck here for 6 days, living off Lockwater and Quality Street. 6 days, I said. Yes, said Becky. 6 days. That's funny, I said. I thought we'd only been gone for a day. Something must have gone a bit strange with space-time. Becky grabbed me by the shoulders and shouted, Where in God's name have you been? I took a deep breath. Plonk. It's the Sagittarius dwarf apoplectic galaxy. It's 70,000 light-years from the centre of the Milky Way, in the direction of the large Magellanic Cloud. Becky shook her head. You need to see a doctor. 1 minute to go, said Van Tresillian. Becky, I said, listen, this is important. It's very possible that in about 50 seconds Charlie is going to, explode. Becky stared at me with her mouth hanging open. 5 minutes after that, I'm going to explode too, so I just wanted to say I love you, and don't stand too close to me, and a few minutes later, well, it's probably best not to think about it. 30 seconds, said Van Tresillian. I walked over to Charlie and said, You're the best friend ever. You know that, don't you? And I sort of love you too, but not in a girly way. Oh, be quiet, said Charlie. Oh, okay then, I said huffily. Charlie touched his wristband. Mr. Van Tresillian. I pressed my own wristband to listen in. Yes, he snapped. There was a pause. We have a problem. What? The watchers are all here, said Charlie. Good, said Van Tresillian, but they're tied up. Well, untie them, you brainless idiot, said Van Tresillian. I'm standing next to a very large policeman, said Charlie, and he's not keen on me doing that. What the hell's going on, asked Becky. I clapped a hand over her mouth. Venting nard, said Van Tresillian. Get your friend to stand next to him so I can blow you up together. You can't be serious, said Charlie. Said Becky, trying to tear my hand away. Venting nard, said Van Tresillian. Don't move, I'm sending someone down, and when they've dealt with that very large policeman, you're going to be toast. Do you understand? Absolutely, said Charlie, and took his fingers off the wristband. He turned to Becky. Time for you to get your big stick. Right, Endeavour. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Have a lovely evening.